Welcome to Center Heist Productions. Please hit the likes and subscribe down below in your right hand corner. Muchly appreciate that. Thank you to my followers. Let's keep it respectable as we always do here and share it with your friends and family. And those coming across the channel, please do not leave until you hit the subscribe and likes and help us grow this integral channel that we've built that focuses on integrity, not rumors. Now we're getting right to it. First, very quick commercial. Or contracting. Please support them this time of year. Landscaping, mowing, if you have masonry work, construction, building a home, renovating a home, those many different roofing. It covers all these different areas. There's many jobs that are covered here. I'm just hitting the surface. Uh, they do honest work at a very reasonable price, good quality work, and I know the owner, very honest man, good quality guy. His contact is on the front page on the ad, and just let them know. Use user code Andrew. Okay, let's get to it, folks. It is Draft Day 2025, and wow, we already have action. We knew the Habs were up to something. We were hoping that something would materialize, and the rumors that I don't get involved in were really heating up towards Dobson and the Islanders, and it has transpired at 151 today, Eastern time. The Habs made the trade. The trade is official. Montreal has Noah Dobson is officially a Montreal Canadian. We have that right-handed defenseman. He's only 25 too. Good height, I believe he's 6'3" or 6'4" in that range. Good, solid guy. Good weight. This is a real investment for sure. The cost, we knew. I'm glad that they did move the two first round picks this year, which is what was part of the package. So pick 16 and 17 are gone to the Islanders. The sad part of this trade, we had to lose some quality. And one of my kind of favorites of a young player, which, you got to look at it. These teams, they want something. And no matter what, you kind of always kind of get caught in the situation of it's a guy you really liked and he showed a great future. And I'm kind of not happy that it's him, but I'm betting we probably didn't have a choice in the matter. Um, Hurts to see him go. Emil Heineman, I thank you. You're going to have a wonderful career. The Islanders got a good hockey player there. But we needed an improvement on the right side, a veteran experience at the right age for us now moving forward. We got bigger on defense. We needed that. My question always was, how do you fit in Mayu or Reinbacher if when everything translates here? But I think they needed to boost this for the now, not being sure if those two would be at the point of making it to the Habs rosters. I believe, in my opinion, I know I've heard phenomenal things on Reinbacker's progress. However, with the injuries he suffered last year, I think he could use some time in Laval still. Maybe he moves up as the season goes on. We know Mayu had an exceptional year down in Laval. Who knows what happens there? So this is a great signing. I love this trade in that regard. My only question is, for me, where's that top line center? That second line center. Sorry, the second line center that we need desperately. We need a top six player. So now that we've gotten rid of both first rounders and lost a real good player in Emil Heineman, an up and coming good talent, hard work, and God, that's going to be hard to replace because he was before he got injured this year, he had the most hits for the Habs, and we were lacking in that department. So I sure hope Kent Hughes and Gordon have something up their sleeve. We now know prior to the draft that those two we don't today. Our draft day is over. We've got our player, which I'm glad I didn't, unless we would have. For me, McQueen was who I was looking at. Um, top of the group for me. That was who I would have preferred, but to do that, there would have been some interesting chips that would have had fallen. Who knows? But anyway, they seen the availability of Dobson. Dobson made the comments very clearly. His preference was to come to Montreal. That is great. He played in the Quebec Major Juniors, so there is a knowledge of him community wise. They, his style. He's a good, solid player. He's going to give us that experience, talent, depth, um, and size, and what we kind of need on that right side, where we're lacking there for sure, and we need it. You were on the borderline. You had a decision to make. Do you need someone now, or do you wait and see what happens out of Mayu and Rhinebeck? And I think Montreal just made the they knew we found out how we're way too small in the playoffs defense wise, and you got to get those horses on the back end bigger. That's to me, as I said, I've made that clear in some tapes. If you were watching, I've made it clear that I do think, yes, Carrier helped us a lot, and I love that trade. But in the playoffs, you could see where his size became a factor that worked against us. Matheson seems to he's on that borderline. He doesn't have a bad size, but he's challenged in that department too. And Struble is just not consistent in that department for a guy who's supposed to be tough. He's a good player, but I think that's a talent you utilize as well to move on. Now you're going to have an interesting logjam here. So I would be looking at, maybe they got something else up their sleeve for that forward. And I sure hope they do, because truthfully, uh, yes, this would have been my second move to get a defenseman. And I do like this better in the regard, I liked Haig's style from Minnesota, but problem was he was a left-sided defenseman. That was where my problem was with that. So I did prefer. I was looking at Dobson quite a bit myself, kind of saying I kind of hope they go in that direction. I didn't want anything to do with Anderson from Calgary. Um, just didn't interest me. Too many flaws in his game. So glad we didn't go down that road. I think we made the right choice out of the defensemen that were available. However, I do think this was Montreal's second area of problem that they needed to go to. I think that the priority is still on a second line center, a top six player. So I really do hope there's something up their sleeve, because they got to correct that. And to me, and I've said it, I know you don't want to make any mistakes. I totally get where Hughes and Gordon are coming from, but I don't think there's any excuses that are going to wash for me if we don't get a top six player. And then you lose a cat like Heineman. There are so many players, if Montreal had a say in this, which I don't think they did, because I think I look at Darch is very intelligent. And I think he liked what he saw in out of the young players. Heineman was the leader. There's no doubt about it. So we may not had. I would love to know what went on in the back discussions in this trade. I have a suspicion that was who Darch wanted. He's seen out of our young talent in the forward group. That's who he wanted a forward, and I think that's who he wanted. And I don't think Montreal had a say in that. They had to count the costs. This draft didn't overly. I was a little nervous of this draft, where I thought it was just slightly weaker. It's like the top 10 players are half decent, the first two especially, and then it drops off from 3 to 10, and then you get a massive drop off where Montreal was sitting. So unless they would have traded it up, I didn't like where we were sitting with 16 and 17. So I kind of wanted these two picks traded for an established NHLer, and we got that. So that I'm pleased about. I'm pleased about Dobson. It's good to have a guy that wants to be here and he loves it. They already signed an 8-year contract is in this when the trade was made. That must have been one of the requirements. 8 years, I believe it's 9.5. Yes, 9.5 million a season for 8 years. That's our highest paid player now. So that's quite something. But I think he's worth it. So they got him locked in. He wanted more. He was looking for 11. So I think Kent Hughes did well in negotiations. We got him locked up for 8 years. That's great. This is going to boost this team to push. But unless now we lost a little bit of a real good up and coming player with Emil Heineman, that's a loss. Kid yourself not. And the grit he brought, and he had a hard shot. I don't know. That's going to be hard to replace. It's going to open the door for another youngster, that's for sure. Um, However, I don't like the size that's in our system in the forward group. The only size I like is Florian, Jack, Tuck, and Thorpe for size. I'm sorry. The rest of the core, and I like Owen Beck, but unless Jake Evans at some point is moving on, I don't know if I could see Owen Beck anywhere else, because I think Montreal can only have, and I say it again, I'm with the critics. Montreal cannot have more than two small players. They got two super talented players that are on the small side. That's Cole Caulfield, and of course our gem, Lane Hudson. And that is plenty. Other than that, we should be moving out some of the smaller guys and getting larger. So that's my only knock with Owen Beck, is unless something's going to be happening with a guy like Evans. I don't know if I can see him getting in here anytime soon. Maybe 2 years from now, maybe. And he does. I don't think he's ready, and I just don't like the size. I know he's 6 foot. He's kind of at the borderline, but I'm just thinking we really need to size up. It's the same as Newhook. He's at 6 foot, and I still think we need to move on from Newhook. I didn't say that with Beck um, totally yet, because we haven't seen enough from him. But the size thing kind of places him along with the Sean Farrells and the Harvey Pennards. These guys need to be moved on in packages. So I really am happy, and I applaud Montreal. Go Habs, go! Welcome to Montreal, Noah, and thank you so much, Emil. You were. I hate it. Actually breaks my heart to see you go. But to shore up that right side, I think Montreal had to do something, and I know it probably killed them. I know it killed me that he had to be the guy in the package. But what do you do? It's just too bad they didn't want, like I said, maybe a Wa. I would have taken that if I had a choice any day of the week. And although I just think that's who the Islanders wanted, was a Mill. They want that style of play. We need that style of play, so we're going to have to look to replace him. Looking for the same type of player, that's going to be hard to do unless. Love to see him get a trade back to get him back, but that ain't going to happen. I don't think anyway. It would be nice, but we need him to replace, and you know, we need to add to our forward group in grit, size, and I just hope that Montreal just doesn't use this as that's all they have to do. They need a top six forward. I'm sorry, Kirby Doc, Newhook are not going to do it. Even Lonnie is not at that. I think those guys are third. You want to stuff them somewhere's third, fourth line, fill in, whatever it is. That's where they sit. And I don't. I don't make any apologies on what I'm saying there. Sorry, that's how I feel. I see their play. Doesn't do it for me. And I know Doc's had bad luck. He was probably the one out of the three that you know I had more hope for, but with those injuries and the way this last year turned out, he's so far behind schedule that I can't see him being any more than a third liner at this point. Newhook is a third or fourth liner, third more so, I think. Lane's just, can he find his game and get in condition and the love of the game? That's the big question mark. So to me, we absolutely, I don't want Habs fans to fall under the hocus pocus that this gets Montreal off the hook again, that second line player, and it really should be a center. Uh, Now you got your first rounds, so I don't know how you're going to do that. I'm guessing it's going to be free agency. Is probably how you're going to hit that now. I just do not see us getting anybody else. I think our first day of draft day is over for Habs, and we should be pleased with that trade. It definitely. Um, fixes the right side quite a bit. I mean, that's quite a massive improvement on David Savard. This guy is going to be, he plays a good quality game, and he's still young, and he's at the right age. I like this trade. I just wish it wasn't a mill that had to go. The first two, both first rounders don't bother me because I just don't think we were going to reach what we needed. It was all a risk. So I was glad that we traded for NHL experience, a guy that's NHL ready and proven. So good trade by Montreal, but by any stretch of the imagination, if we think that's all we got to do and that this gets this management team off the hook, we need a top six forward, and it can't be ignored. Okay, it's bad enough that I want a center, top second line center. That to me is priority number one, and has been. Whether we were, I still want that to be there. A big that should be our number one plan. We got number two plan done with Noah, and then a big winger on the second line. Top six. Those are your. You got two more moves that can be made. I have a suspicion it's going to be free agency, but we shall sit back and wait and see. Who knows what's going to happen? Um, we knew that there was so much rumor around this and Cairo, um, and Haig. These were the three players, and I actually liked this one out of all the names that were mentioned, probably the most. Forward group, the only thing that interested me was Robertson, but I don't know. The trade would have been too costly for us. So thank you for watching. You seen it here. Just wanted to bring this out. I know it was at 1:51 Eastern time. That's the 9.5 for 8-year contract for Noah Dobson in Montreal. He is now officially a Hab. Congrats, and congrats and thank you to Emil Heineman. And I'm sorry to see it go, but I do think this solves a problem for our right side massively, massively, because I think in the near future we will probably be moving on from the Mathesons and Carriers down the road within, like I say, they might have 2 years left. So that when the rest of the youngsters are ready, because we gotta have horses back there. So Noah Dobson fills that. Gooley, and like I say, Jack, I keep working on it. He fills that void. Other than that, that's really the main guys that filled that void. And we know Lane Hudson's the guy, the one small guy that we can have back there because he's so super talented. He's an exception to the rule, but he needs to be insulated. I have a funny suspicion he will be paired up with Noah Dobson. Mark my words, that will be your first pairing. And then maybe that also alleviates and puts Caden Gooley back on his left side where he should be with Carrier. And Mike Matheson gets moved down with Jack Eye. They probably won't move Matheson down. Maybe a Gooley Matheson thing. I just think it should be. Uh, it should be I know Matheson will be no less than a second pairing. I'm sure that's how they think. I'm sorry, I don't feel the same way about that. I feel like he might be a good help for. I don't know, a third pairing, but it's kind of between him and Carrier. But I like Carrier season wise. It's just playoff wise. I think he's a future guy that could be your seventh guy down the road when all is said and done. But for the time being, he's going to be a key guy in the lineup for sure. Him and Matheson. But I do think they will move on from those players, those two. So thank you for watching. You've seen it here at Center Heist Productions. Just wanted to fill you up on that. If anything Habs wise happens within the draft, because now I don't expect that to be, um, I will be back on. I guess I'm kind of going to be waiting for free agency from the sounds of this. I'll still watch the draft, but again, thank you. Hit the subscribe, hit the likes. God bless you. And go Habs go. Very proud of this move, but we cannot forget. We absolutely need that second line center and a top six player for sure at worst. So thanks for watching. God bless. Have a happy draft day.